What is up, guys? The Crew Motorfest just announced some changes for Season 7, and there's good, there's bad, and there's ugly, and we're going to talk about all three of those right now. Let's go! Alright, so because I was on vacation, I missed this announcement. I would have had this out for you the day this came out. I know you've already seen these changes, but we need to talk about a couple of these because some of these are really frustrating, and I wanted to break them down into like what's good for the game, what's bad for the game, and what is just completely ugly for the game. And there's one thing in particular that's driving me crazy with these updates that are just announced for Season 7. So let's go through some of them because there are some good ones in here, and one in particular that I'm really excited about. Let's go through the good first. So first we have the Fast 5 update. This is something that probably should have just been in the game from the beginning, but it allows you now to set specific vehicles on 4 different buttons for your Fast Fave. You can customize it, you can pick each individual vehicle, and as you can see here, there are little symbols that sort of tell you which vehicles you've got selected. If you want to select a whole bunch of Street 2 cars and you just want to switch between Street 2 cars, you can do that. If you want all planes, if you can do that, you have the choice to pick what you want and what you can put on your Fast Fave, which is great. This is a very nice quality of life update. Let's move on to the Grand Race split time functionality. Keep track of your performance more precisely during grand races with the new split time indicators. I like this a lot, but I do think that casuals are going to be more inclined to quit these races because they're going to see things like 53 seconds behind. How are you 53 seconds behind, Mr. IVT Rebos? Anyways, you're going to see these times now, and for the top, let's say 10 or so players, this is going to be good because people are going to want to know how far ahead they are, if they can relax or make mistakes, or if they want to push that time even further. You're going to know that information now. And obviously before, if you were really far behind, you knew you were really far behind, but I think for the majority of casual players who are not really that into grand races, this is going to cause more quitting than anything. But it's okay, coming from an experienced player, someone who's maybe a little bit more skilled than the average, I would say this is a good feature to have in the game. This is something that could help players get to the next level if they're trying to hang with a certain group or a certain player or their friend, trying to figure out how fast they are. Knowing your split times, knowing your times on races is important to competition. So although I think some people are maybe not going to like it that much, it's sort of a negligible feature for those people, but they're going to see this time and maybe quit the races more. That being said, though, the best quality of life change they're adding in the update, Spectator Mode. Spectator Mode is here for grand races, and I could not be happier about this. I cannot tell you. You can actually spectate people throughout the entire race. When you start the race, you press the start button and you go straight into Spectator Mode. You do not have to race the race, and you can switch between players in the race. It is great. This is a great change for the game. I absolutely love that they added this, and this is going to change the way we do tournaments. We can actually put on tournament events where I can view the competition. It's going to be way more entertaining, and I don't know if they just put this in for me, but IVT, listen, thank you. This is great. This is my favorite. I'm so excited about this. You guys have no idea. Anyways, let's keep moving on. They're adding jets to grand races. Good. That's all I've got to say. It's fine. Listen, the jet is in the game, right? It's a category in the game, and you couldn't race it in the grand races until now. This is good. Put it in there. We got lots of vehicles to choose from. Where are boats? Boats have been in the game from day one. Why don't we have any boat grand races? All right, I know all the sweats are going to kill me for that. It's fine. Listen, it's in the game. It's a category to race in, and we're not racing in it yet. So there you go. Put it in the grand races. All right, moving on to some more like, you know, solo friendly stuff for you players out there. Revamped Mainstage Challenges. Starting with Season 7, the weekly Mainstage Challenges are getting a much needed refresh. Instead of repeating the same objectives week after week, the challenges will now rotate and evolve to match the theme of each week, bringing more variety and giving players new goals to chase throughout the season. This is good. Now, I don't play the Mainstage Challenges. I don't know anybody of my close friend group that does. So if you do, this is awesome. And that's why I put it in the good category. But I don't think this is very relevant to a certain group of players, especially the ones that have all the money or the prestige tickets or play the game a lot. The Mainstage Challenges are really not there for those players. This is absolutely a good change for casual players because now you can complete these challenges, not feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again every week. I'm all for variety. I think that this is a good thing for the game overall. Next up, we got new weather options for the photo and custom event mode. You can do new weather presets and I love that. It's a small change, it's a quality of life thing, but this is definitely something that's cool. I like being able to change the weather whenever I take my photos for the thumbnails, and I know a lot of people take photos in game, post it to your Instagram, do whatever. This is good for the game. It's just a small quality of life thing, but I love that they added new weather options. It sounds like they're probably going to be adding some of those like really deep, like crazy storms, that type of thing within the weather options for the photo mode. So that's great. It's all good. I think this is a good one as well. I put it in the good category. And lastly, and real quickly, I just want to mention the immersive mode. Immersive mode is new for season 7. It's really just taking away all of the UI. So you're not going to have any speedometers, you're not gonna have any mini map or any nothing, literally nothing. All of the UI elements will be off the screen. It's just the car, just driving. I think it's cool. It's probably a really easy change for them to implement, and I don't know because I'm not a dev, so sorry if it's not easy and it was difficult. I feel like this should be an easy thing. You just flip a switch and everything turns off. Anyways, it's there. You have no distractions. You can just drive, you can just cruise. I don't think this is very good for a lot of players, but I think this is fine to add to the game. It's not a big deal. It probably didn't take a lot of resources to do this feature, so it's fine that it's been added. It's good that we have an option. I'm good for more options. All right, now let's talk about the bad. Pro racing modifiers for grand races. This is not good. It's not good because you're forcing someone to play the way that you want them to play as opposed to the way they want to play. And I don't like that. This is a competition. This is a competitive environment. And now you're making everyone play a certain way. I'm okay with disabling the mini map or getting rid of NOS or getting rid of slipstream or drag bump or something like that. Something that affects the performance across the board for everyone. But when you start changing the camera angle, everybody plays with a different camera angle already. So now you're forcing all of these people into one and making them drive that one way. Not everybody likes to drive in cockpit view, and it becomes more of a challenge. And to be honest, it's probably only going to be like once every 4 or 5 grand race rotations. Not a huge deal, but it's definitely not a good thing. I think if the pro racing modifier did everything but the cockpit view, it just got rid of that, I think it'd be fine. But the way it is now, I feel like people are going to be avoiding this modifier when it comes up. And, you know, that's not really what the game wants. You really want to bring more people into the grand races, not less. So I'm not a huge fan of this. I know someone might be, and that's okay. It's fine if you like it. It's just, I don't think the cockpit view thing is really for everyone, especially since on the older gen consoles, you don't really have mirror functionality. So I don't know how they're going to be doing it. Like, they're really at a disadvantage. If you're on the older gen consoles and you're racing first person in this pro racing modifier, it's kind of a problem. Like, you can't see anybody around you. They're going to be causing havoc for everyone else. I don't know. I don't see locking players into a specific camera view is a great thing to do. And that kind of leads me into another one that's even worse, but I'll talk about that in a second. But let's get through the bads real quick. So the next one is the new batch of dynamic races. Now, you're probably wondering, how could this possibly be bad, them adding more races to the game? It's not really this feature itself. The fact that they're adding more races is fine. The problem that I have with it is that they're adding more dynamic races instead of putting that effort into the grand races or creating some sort of private lobby situation or creating more paths for the grand races or, you know, anything for like the PvP. Like, why are you adding dynamic races when people only play during that playlist? When you play the Chase Squad playlist and you go through all of those, what are those called? Like the rivals races. That's basically the only time you're playing the dynamic races. Like, it's not something people really go out and do because there's not really a reward system tied to that. So there's no real incentive to go out and do those dynamic races. But I don't know anyone that was asking for this. It just feels like a feature that you wasted time developing because it really wasn't a feature that was being used a lot. Now, if you added more dynamic races and then tied a reward system to it and you're incentivizing players to do it, okay, that makes sense. It just feels like wasted resources to me. So I put that in the bad category. We'll kind of wait and see how this goes. Maybe they do develop something around it, or maybe they're working on this PvP stuff behind the scenes and we just don't know about it. But right now, new dynamic races, I don't know anyone who was asking for that. All right, before I get into the ugly, there is one thing that we need to talk about that is not good, bad, or ugly because we don't know what the fuck it is. The custom show voting update. The voting rules in the custom show have been adjusted. These changes aim to ensure a more balanced and rewarding competition experience. Great. What did you do? What did you change? Like, tell us how it works now. Tell us how the voting has changed. Why is this a one-sentence thing? This has been a problem for months, and we get zero information on this. This is the article in which you're telling us what's going on, and you just tell us it's changed. Come on, let's get actual information in here about the custom show. This is honestly, it feels just lazy. I don't know if what happened here, or they're not allowed to tell us what's going on, or they don't want to tell us what's changed because they don't want people figuring out how to rig it again. But I got news for you guys. They're gonna figure out how to rig it again. Like, it's gonna be rigged. Like, if rigging is possible, they're gonna rig it. It's just what's gonna happen, because the custom show in itself is a little bit flawed, and I don't know how you fix it. I don't have the answers. You guys are the devs. It's your problem to figure out. I hope. It just, like, the lack of information is just unreal for this. So I didn't put it in any category. This is just a weird one that's kind of a side note. Anyways, let's get on to the absolute ugliness of this update. The first one, the Summit Sequential modifier. This is a new gameplay twist that will appear in select summit events. This modifier forces everyone to use manual gear shifting, offering a greater challenge for those looking to prove their driving skills. No, it doesn't. This won't be active every week, but when it is, get ready to take full control. The biggest problem with this is that people don't have the skill to do this. In most cases, I would be in favor of something that widens the skill gap, because I think it's important for players to learn to get better as opposed to just be handed everything out. But this is like just throwing people in the deep end, bro. You're throwing people that don't know how to swim in the deep end of the pool and expecting them to do good. What if we get on one of the weeks where we have manual gear shifting only, we get a summit vehicle? What if it's the last week of the month and we get a summit vehicle and everyone has to do manual shifting? That would be insane. This is a terrible modifier. It's a horrible idea. It's the same thing as making people race in cockpit view. It's like, now I get making the gameplay varied. I like the idea of switching up gameplay, but don't do it with skill related issues. This is a problem for a lot of players. The majority of players that play this game are probably on automatic. Now you're forcing them to go sequential, and it's not an easy transition. This is not something that if you've been driving automatic this whole time, you just want to switch over to sequential real quick, you just do it. No, you can't. This is something you have to learn to do. So I'm definitely not in favor of this. This is one of the worst things, but this is not the worst one. The worst one is that they've now killed all hope for solo players in summits. Restricted feats were the only place where you couldn't play in a crew, and they've now made it to where you can in the summits. This is the opposite direction, and it has completely killed the idea of competing solo in summits, which doesn't really make sense. Summits are a solo competition. You should be playing them solo. You should not be playing them in a crew. You should not get an advantage for playing the summit in a crew. And this week's summit in particular, you did get an advantage. You actually could have a way higher score if you played in a crew of 4 on one of the events. And honestly, you can get a better score across the board if you're playing with other players and using Slipstream. This is not a fair competition. It's not. I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, I like to play with my friends and all stuff. Fine. But the summit should be reserved for solo play. It's not a team sport. You don't get graded as a team. You get ranked individually. If you and your friend go out and slipstream every race, one of you guys is going to get a worse score. One of you guys is going to get a worse rank. Now, obviously, it's not going to be like one person in platinum, one person in gold. But the point is, you're being ranked individually. You should not get an advantage for playing with a friend and having them help you get a better score. It's just not fair. It's not good for the community, and they're going in the wrong direction. Now, is this one feature the game breaker? No, but this is a sign that they're going in that direction and they're not going to make summits solo. And it really frustrates me because I think it's the one place that should be solo in this game is summits, because it's the only thing that you're getting ranked on individually and you're getting rewarded individually. And it's just not something that should be playable in a crew across the board. I think all summit events should be solo, and that's kind of where my beef with this lies. So IVT, if you're listening, please go the opposite direction. Please go. Summit should be solo only. Don't let other people play in the same event. It's just, Slipstream is way too powerful for this to be a thing. Anyways, I apologize. I was a couple of days late on this. I was on vacation, just got back. I'm here doing it now. I've got a lot more season 7 stuff to cover. We've got early access coming up this week, so I'm going to be shooting a bunch of videos for you guys for when the embargo comes up. You guys will see the freshest, most up-to-date stuff for season 7. As soon as I'm able to drop it, I will drop it for you guys. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.